Forthcoming on this episode of YouEffect, we take a look at pressure and how it relates to our featured guest, Nebris. We showcase some new young leaders in our You Voices segment, and then take a look at some interesting charity news and our You Moments, before leaving you with a tip on how to better understand the pressures in your life. Hi, my name is Kelly Lavelle, and you're watching YouEffect. This is a show dedicated to empowering the youth voice. We are not the leaders of tomorrow. We are the leaders of today, and this show is committed to helping you find your passions and demonstrating how you can take action to achieve your potential. Last week we spoke about being you and embracing your individuality. Today, we are going to look at pressures and how this affects you and who you want to be. I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that you will be surrounded by pressure your whole life. The good news is that this isn't necessarily a bad thing. What can be bad is how you react to pressure. You will never be able to hide from it, but you can certainly learn to handle it. In school, perhaps you are behaving a certain way because you think it's cool, or you've caved into pressure and done things you haven't been proud of. Maybe you've worn your pants way too low. You've had to have that new handbag that broke the bank. Or maybe you've even worn socks with sandals. Just because everyone does something doesn't mean you have to. And just because it's cool doesn't mean it's good. Amidst all the pressures that come from school, family, and even your parents, you need to think of what you want, who you are, and act in a way that best serves you positively. I have learned that you can harness life pressures to drive you forward in achieving your goals. As I told you before, I was pressured into being someone I wasn't, and it ended in unhappiness. Everyone pressured me to be someone else, someone who would fail, someone who was destined to be on the sideline. That is when I realized that the people around me didn't have my best interests at heart. It almost felt as though they were pushing their own doubts about themselves onto me. I reacted against them and set out to prove them wrong, letting their own skepticism fuel my motivation to achieve. Today we have guests with a similar story who have learned to harness their own pressures to achieve their greatest successes to date.
What am I thinking if I'm not thinking about you?
From the gold-selling hit single About Us to topping the charts at Much Music and releasing their new single and music video Rewind, I am delighted to have Canadian band Nebris with us on YouEffect today. It is clear this band is making strides in the music industry, and we have Mikey, Greg, Paul, and Spee with us today. So guys, naturally, as a popular band, you must experience a lot of pressures in the industry. How does that influence you as a group?
I think it makes us stronger. I think it builds character. And it allows us to kind of grow and know when we're growing. We kind of look at these situations as tests. And Paul and I have had a pretty huge test recently with the addition of two new guys.
Two brand new, awesome, wicked musicians.
So you want to tell her about that?
Thank you. Yeah, sure. We recently switched it up. Obviously, we had some problems with the other guys who we love, but again, that's what happens. Sometimes this life is not for everybody, and it just goes for anything. It doesn't even have to be with music or being in a band or anything. Sometimes, when you're living your dream or you're working towards your dream, things get in your way, and sometimes it seems pretty hopeless, and it can get that way at times. But you have to maintain that faith and working hard and belief that you will come out on top, and you got to do whatever it takes to make it happen.
I think you touched on an important point, and I think it was Spee. You've quoted this, that the kind of the foundation of Nebris was based on the fact that we all have our Mount Everest. And that you're not going to stop as a band until you achieve your goals. And I think in a lot of ways that a lot of young people experience that. They all have their own Mount Everest, and a lot of times pressures take a form of that, be it social pressures, be it pressures from parents, expectations. There's so many varieties, but they don't always have to be bad pressures, and they can push you forward, as you've explained.
They can inspire.
Absolutely. Paul said this before. We were talking on the phone. He's like, and even our producer, who's also the head of the label,
Yes.
Mike Yofos, Vic Park Group and Vic Park Productions, and he said to us, he's like, it's these tough situations that kind of separates the boys from the men, or the girls from the women.
Right.
So that's exactly how we feel. I feel like Paul and I kind of stepped up when 50% of the band kind of was no longer there, and Paul and I are looking at each other like, okay, so Neverest is a singer and a bassist, and we need to kind of figure out what we're gonna do. And so we took steps in the ways that we knew how. So Paul immediately started looking for other members, and he started going into his catalog of people that he knew.
I knew though right away, like these guys, I always had these guys in mind whenever there were problems before, whatever, like I knew that these guys would be guys who really would appreciate the opportunity and want to make it work. I mean, you guys talk about it. Like, how do you feel about it?
I feel great, and it's good to be a part of a group that works really hard and will work through anything to get where they want to go. And it's good to be brought in on something like that.
Well, I think you touch on a point to embrace the good and the bad. Like, everything happens for a reason, and sometimes we get so caught up in the moment and being discouraged by our immediate circumstances that we don't see the bigger picture. And it looks like your experiences have taken you to the next step and has worked out for the better.
Yeah, there's a quote I love. It's, we live life forwards, but we understand it backwards.
I love that.
I love it.
That's amazing.
It's one of my favorites. I think it pertains to what this is. Like, we don't know the challenges that are going to be coming our way. We have to trek through. We have to keep going. We have to keep our eye on the prize and our focus there and staying positive. And eventually, when we get past that point, we were saying we're going to laugh about this after. This is something that we're going to be like, can you imagine if it didn't happen that way, and then we didn't have Greg and Mikey, and then we didn't experience this, and it just goes on and on and on. And so that's I'm looking forward to those days as well. But I'm enjoying this right now.
Even with you guys individually, like I remember, like you were doing a lot before as well, but then having this come to you as well was a.
What was it like for you? I remember you saying, like, because you were like a studio guy before, right? Like you were
absolutely. Well, I've been doing music, for the past 5 years or so. So just relating to, I mean, it's different for us just coming in now because we've been on two different paths and they've sort of come together. But I've been on a personal level, doing similar things, and there's been lots of ups and downs. And there's actually something that a music teacher said to me once, which definitely relates to Neverest and us right now, and probably life in general. But he said that the music industry is a lot like snakes and ladders. And it's very true, right? Like it's, there is a little bit of chance in there, and sometimes your friends hit that ladder and you're just working away, and then sometimes you work and then you hit a snake and you're back down. And that's exactly what happened to you guys, right? Yeah. You guys were up there, with About Us and stuff, and then all of a sudden a snake and you have to work your way out. It's like, the point is, though, is like you don't quit the game, right? And that's something that me and you actually talked about too, right? Is about not focusing so much on the end goal, but realizing that how awesome it is that we're in the game. Yeah. So
enjoying the moment, enjoying the journey.
Exactly, and enjoying the snakes as well, because exactly what you said, it brought you guys to us, right? And now we're on a completely, now that paths come together, and we're
in a second, but first, let's hear from you.
Sometimes there is things that people let you buy, so you gotta do those things and become those people, have those things to be cool.
Hello, my name is Alvan. I am from Azerbaijan, and I would like to be my superhero for Azerbaijan. I would like to be Superman.
We're at the One Young World Conference. We're all from Pittsburgh. I want to be me!
I'm Greek, so my music tends to sound very Middle Eastern, and a lot of people make terrorist jokes when I play it, so I haven't been able to listen to it. It's actually my favorite type of music.
I'm from Colombia, Germany, France,
Brazil.
China.
And what do you guys want to be?
I want to be me.
What?
Like shoes or shirts, hats, technology.
Well, I'll just have to deal with the fact that I won't be accepted into that group. I'm just going to be an individual, be myself. And I can just forget about those people because life goes on and I'm still going to be me. And I'm going to love myself the way I am.
Yeah, I guess just be yourself and, well, be ready to take the challenge. Don't be afraid of the insecurity and, well, if you have a good idea, you know, just go after it.
Well, I found friends that are very generally accepting of who I am. I like to learn about different cultures, so it was very helpful for me when people decided that they would teach me their culture or their language.
Hello, my name's Jackson, and I would like to be your next GQ model. Kidding. Totally want to be a public health care professional because I think it's awesome. Whether that takes me globally, whether that's back home in Canada, Mississauga, my hometown, that'd be great.
Lately I've really felt pressure to do well in school, to get really good grades, so I haven't been able to do the stuff that I want to because I'm so busy studying.
Well, yes, lots of people mistake me for a shoplifter or just a generally intimidating person because of the way I looked.
What my life would be like, I think it'd be a lot of traveling, a lot of sweet, fun places to go at night, lots of great food, lots of great friends, and if I have all that, couldn't ask for more. But more than anything, I just want to be me.
I just, you know, let it go, do my own thing, don't really bow to social pressure.
I actually would want to be an actress, which sounds probably very cheesy and corny, but it's very true. I went to drama school for 3 years.
I take it more as a challenge that I can push myself to get better in school rather than taking it as, oh, everybody wants me to do better, I'm failing, this sucks. So I take it more as I can go and do this and I'll be excellent at it.
Great, because I just feel like that's really what I want to be and how I want to be me.
People that I call friends would be somebody that would sacrifice time to be with me during times of sadness and despair.
In grades 7 and 8, yeah, because there was a lot of people there that they gossiped a lot, but then not now so much because I have a really great group of friends that really accept whoever comes in for whoever they are.
Hi, my name is Drea Green from the United States. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be me.
Sometimes when I'm around certain people, I don't want to be judged by, you know, I'll try to fit in, be like them, do their thing.
Hi, I'm Marissa Germain, and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I want to be an internet web series host, and I just want to be me.
Thanks, guys. As always, you are awesome. Please send us your You Voice videos so we can showcase you in upcoming episodes. Now let's return to our featured guests. So if you could describe you in one word, it'd be epic.
It would be epic.
Epic.
Right now, yes. This time around, Everest, epic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Planes.
The epic climb of the
planes.
mountain.
Okay, it's seriously, it's not even a music video. It's a 3.5-4 minute action movie with our song playing in the background. It's like a cross between Born Identity and Ocean's 11 kind of ish. It's gonna look really cool. We did a lot of our own stunts. Paul and I had to jump off a roof.
Fighting, jumping off a roof, parkour, people flying through the air.
Scenes, there's airplanes, there's oh man.
There's all kinds, man.
We need to put a don't try this at home caution on.
You don't want to try it at home.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Don't do that.
That's gonna have to be up on the.
Right.
That's a good. Thank you. Yeah, she might have just saved us. We have like the 3 singles back to back. So it was funny but before these guys came in, we were like, Paul and I were like, what's gonna happen? So we kind of focused on what we needed to focus on. He found the guys. I started doing a lot of the writing, and we were kind of going back and forth. And I would help him with that. He would help me with the writing. And then we got these guys in, and immediately they just kind of slipped right into the roles right away.
Yeah.
And it was like such an
studio
in sync between all of us. Like Greg comes in, he's already putting guitar parts in the studio. Mikey's already in, he's killing the drum parts. I'm like, this is amazing how everyone's just kind of fitting into what what we need to do.
Well, the director on the music video he even said it's good to, it was easy to get through it because you guys, you know, had been playing together for so long and we're in it. We're just like, yeah, we're new.
First time.
It's great. Yeah, it was just like once we came together and started playing, it was really easy.
The first rehearsal, you could immediately tell.
Well, the first rehearsal, after we did the rehearsrsal, we wrote a song.
Yeah.
We're sitting there and I'm playing a guitar part, and then Greg comes in and he just joins in. He does this wicked guitar thing he did, and then Mikey starts a groove, and then Paul comes in and he says the head bob. He says the bass, slapping the bass. It was awesome, and it was a great connection, great vibe, and yeah.
You definitely have overcome the pressures that you've experienced and made something of it. Instead of dwelling in it, you've embraced it and have taken strides forward, and that's amazing.
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Yes.
There you go. Another quote.
For the day.
You know what? I think I'm just pulling them out of nowhere. I just had a thin air. Like,
I need a quote.
So, if you could,
we got to see if some of these are copyrighted. You know? I might be able to air it.
So if you could if you could describe one experience or moment that describes you as a band, at this point, what would it be?
Our first show actually together was with the Niagara Symphony Orchestra. It was the first time that we played together, first time we played with the symphony, and first time we debuted our new single actually as well.
3 first times.
And
then we had one show.
And I think the chemistry between us there just, you know, everybody could see it right away.
That was it was a defining moment.
Yeah. We were giddy. We were giddy playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just exciting.
It was
right?
new things to come.
Yeah.
And it was a thankfulness for where we were at, all coming from, like Greg said, from different paths. You know, you look at a mountain, there's not just one way of getting up there. You can helicopter down, you can climb, you could...
There's not one straight path in life. And
so there's multiple paths.
A lot of people kind of get pigeonholed that there is only one path.
No,
but there
and that's
isn't.
not the case, absolutely. So, and like, you can use us as the perfect example, all coming from different places, arriving at what we call happiness.
If you could give advice to the little yous, what would you say?
Really start.
What would you tell
You know
yourself?
what? I would just exactly what I would tell myself that, you know, everything is going to be all right because you want it bad enough, and to stay true to what you really want and to keep envisioning those big dreams that almost scare you. If they don't scare you, it's not big enough.
So
in my
if you
opinion.
want to be Superman, to embrace that, you can find...
Embrace it. You can see yourself. Yeah. Batman. I like Batman, but you know what I mean. Still, yes. Again, just to stick it out because I've never been more reassured.
That
you know,
actually leads to my next question.
Cool.
If you had a superpower and you could change one thing in the world, what would you change?
My hair. I'm joking.
I'm joking. I love my hair.
Right. We all love Steve's hair.
I'm joking. My hair's immaculate.
Right.
You know what? For me, I always had a soft spot for homeless people in Canada because this is home for me. And I always, when I'm walking, I always, all my change, I never end up having change in my pocket.
He buys some sandwiches on the street. He'll take them in and buy them and stuff like that. I've seen him do it.
I absolutely love that.
It's
I don't think that any one person should be hungry or not have a place to stay. So if it's in my power, if I make enough money, I will definitely do something about it myself. But there are other ways to make differences. I want to make a very big difference. So if I had a superpower, it would be to take everyone off the streets. And give them a place to stay and give them water and food.
And that's the same with overseas, the third world countries and everything. That's the same exact thing.
Speaking
Transitions into that, right?
Third world, like this is, you know, a lot of times, I want to go back to that question, what would I tell the youth? A piece of advice, think big picture, because sometimes taking yourself out of your situation and seeing that we have first world problems here, and that a lot of other people have third world problems, like they don't even have water. And we've seen it with our own eyes, and that's real. Like, that's a real problem.
I think that full circle into what we're discussing with pressures, we don't focus on the self and your immediate surroundings and pressures, and know that there's a bigger picture out there. You're not the only one, you're not alone.
If there's triggers to help you take yourself out of your situation, that's a key component of appreciating. And once you appreciate, then you start attracting more positive things.
Well, thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you.
being here
Thank
today.
you very much.
You have an incredibly inspirational story, and we look forward to seeing that new music video.
Yes. Oh,
thank you.
So do we.
By the way, we don't
We're
condone
stoked to see
violence.
Rewind.
Yeah, no violence.
We do not condone
I
Just
want
fun.
to see you flipping off a roof.
Yeah, the roof.
I'm
It's
looking
gonna be
for
really
that.
cool.
Yes.
We'll back up with you effect. Now, don't go anywhere. It's You Moments time. Prince's Trust is an organization headed by Prince Charles that teaches basic skills to many young people who have faced homelessness, poverty, and long-term unemployment. Some of these youth recently had the opportunity to not only meet the Prince, but also showcase their culinary skills by making a fruit smoothie for him. I wouldn't mind a royal fruit smoothie. More than 140 of the hottest stars from the hit television show Survivor, The Amazing Race, The Apprentice, Big Brother, and more will reunite with their castmates and use their celebrity to help raise donations for Central Florida's Give Kids the World Village. This is a non-profit storybook resort that provides week-long, cost-free, magical vacations to children and their families from around the world. With all those reality personalities around, that is sure to be a dynamic event. Today we have learned through our featured guest Neverest that pressures are unavoidable. When they arise, we ultimately are presented with a crossroads. Will you stick it out and fight for what you believe in? Or will you succumb and let your voice fade to a whisper? The choice is ultimately ours. The first step in dealing with pressure is understanding where it comes from. A tip to identify some pressures in your life is to list 5 daily pressures you feel and then give them a score out of 10. 10 being a suffocating pressure and 1 being just an annoying bug. Then share your list with someone close to you and create an action plan. You don't have to overcome these pressures in one day. Start small and see what it feels like to pull your pants up for a day or use your favorite old ratty bag one more time. Thank you for tuning into YouEffect. Don't forget to submit your YouVoice videos for our next episode. I'm Kelly Lavelle, and remember, change starts with you.